know you've been in New York too long when you're like, oh, it's at the old food emporium. We're your hosts, Tara, Nora, and Allie, and you're listening to Bad Advice Only.
We're just three New York City rats talking about scurrying around the Big Apple. Here, we make the New York City mistakes so you don't have to.
We're begging you. Leave us a review and follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Bad Advice Only NYC. We release new episodes every Monday, so stay tuned, rats.
What are we talking about today, Tara?
We are going to talk about New York City wedding venues and weddings.
Amazing. But first, a few updates.
Rat recap.
You had something you wanted to say, right?
I've got dating gripes.
Oh.
Which is that I'm sick of men asking for a FaceTime before a date.
Yes.
And here's why. Because, one, if you're so fucking weird and awkward that you can't just show up to a date for 45 minutes, have one drink, and make small talk with someone you hate, then I'm not interested. I had 2 FaceTime dates last night. The first one, he was so hot, and he's a tourist, so, obviously not a long-term thing. Within 30 seconds of me answering the phone, he goes, "You're a naughty girl, aren't you?" We've exchanged 3 messages. But you know what's the funny part? I am a naughty girl. I do just want to fuck. But that's not how you get sex. That's gross.
Well, when we've been with her, I feel like guys have just literally called her out of the blue. Like that one time we were at the beach and some guy that you were supposed to go on the date with just randomly called you and you're like, I literally haven't spoken to him.
And that guy was weird too.
So weird.
Like all the good dates I go on, they just name a time and place and we show up and we have a good time. The people who I've never seen someone who I FaceTimed first.
Because they're
always
I've never
so weird.
FaceTimed anybody. No one's ever asked that of me.
So weird. Here's the move, I think. If you really want to FaceTime or call before a date to check if the girl's cute or something or normal, just do it. Don't ask. Don't schedule a time. Just call them and then be like, I'm old-fashioned. Wanted to ask you out.
Or
I don't know about
I would rather that.
No. Or, hey, I've been catfished. Give me a reason
No,
that
I
you're
don't
doing
even
it.
want that because then I'm like,
just
loser.
show up to the date. Just show up to the date.
Just show up and then leave.
And
Buy
pay
one
$30
drink.
for one
Show
drink.
up early. Pick another guy in a different outfit. If you don't like the way that person looks, be like, hey, I'm the guy in the hat, and it's not you, and then you can get up and leave.
I think they're trying to screen for if you look like your pictures, but here's what you're really screening for. You're screening for girls who value themselves so little that they'll put on makeup for a FaceTime date, which I did not. I didn't even take out my Invisalign. Fuck that. If you're not going to buy me a drink, what?
So what happened? Did you go with him?
No.
It was last night.
I thought this was the Australian.
I talked to one guy who, within 30 seconds, he goes, "You're a naughty girl, aren't you?" And I go, "You FaceTime guys are so disappointing." And that was the whole conversation.
Well, I was just gonna say I'm also disappointed in men because I wanted to do a little rat recap. I was telling Nora this morning because I was just re-listening to last week's episode. We were talking about my LinkedIn boy.
Rat recap.
Rat recap. Woo! That was a little low energy today, guys.
Sorry.
So, listener, the guy from LinkedIn, I think the last I gave him my number and we didn't think he'd ever see it. He probably hasn't because then Nora doubled down same day and just ended up giving my name to his friend.
Spelled wrong.
Yeah,
You mean
spelled
his
incorrectly because
number,
my
your
name's
number.
been spelled incorrectly in Nora's phone for the
a
last
decade.
I shared the contact, to be clear.
Yes, when you share the contact, it shares the name.
The misspelled name.
So
I don't know what the problem is.
So he's going to save it as Ally Bieber in his phone.
Your last name.
That's fine. The people know. So she shared my contact, so it's just spelled Ally now instead of Allie. And then he ended up texting us and calls us a few different times throughout the week, and by us I mean me.
Yeah, he called you at 4 a.m.
One of them,
Did he?
being a 3:23 a.m.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
booty call. But he was texting pretty frequently while we were all out on Saturday. It was if I go to a party, I'm not texting that much, I think, some random, unless I'm really trying to hit it then quit it. Ooh. But then the next morning, I'm like, hey, appreciate the 3:23 a.m. booty call. However, we'll see you maybe later this week. I'm like, I don't know. It's obviously not going to be.
What?
Yeah, that's not what I'm going for. And he's like, oh, yeah. sorry, I have a girlfriend.
Yeah, he was like, I actually have a girlfriend, sorry.
Fucking
I'm
garbage.
like, oh, shocker.
Okay.
Number 5. This is number 5, ladies, of men who want to cheat with me.
I want to know what. I think we gotta get your pussy saged.
Allie's got big cheater energy.
I got big cheating
Like
energy.
other woman energy.
Yeah, you're the other woman.
I don't know why.
You're so uninterested in people with a significant other.
I like a challenge. That's what it is.
Is that what it is?
I'm giving off challenge
No,
energy.
this isn't challenging. They're throwing themselves at you.
They really are. Like, I had one of the married guys called me 7 times on Saturday night.
That's so
like,
pathetic.
what the fuck?
2 were FaceTime.
I say 2 more calls and we put them on blast and tell the wife.
2 more calls and we announce who the wife is. And we're gonna fucking wreck this man's life.
Yeah. Today's topic is going to be about New York City weddings.
Woo! Fucking hate New York City weddings.
I might also, and I'll explain why.
Have you been to any?
One in Brooklyn, so I'm counting it. New York City.
I'd be curious about a Brooklyn wedding. I've never been to a Brooklyn wedding.
It was bourgeois.
Bourgeois.
Bourgeois. So I did a little research, and the reason I thought about doing New York City weddings is because these rats got dolled up for a Long Island wedding this week.
Long Island's a New York wedding.
It is a New York wedding. It's not, I wouldn't call it a New York City wedding. That would be blasphemy. But it was a New York wedding. It was beautiful. It was everything I expected it to be, like a Italian Long Island wedding.
It was an Italian Long Island wedding.
Yeah, piece of shit. My boyfriend has been to many, and he was like, this is exactly what you should expect. And he kept calling the men meatballs, so I guess that's a term. Do you know what
They
I'm
all
talking-
had the same name, so it's funny that he referenced himself as
guys.
Meatball.
We sat our table where we sat. There were 3 Vinnies. 3.
Like Italian Vinnies. Like
But they all went,
Vincenzo.
yeah, they all went by a different type of Vin.
It was
Oh, did they?
Yeah, one was like Vin,
Vinny.
Vinny, Vincent, and then Vincento or some shit. Guys, one of them, we just have to get this off right now.
We gotta get this off our
Yeah,
chest.
let's just real quick hold the
Holy-
wedding talk.
I'm so sorry to
We
our
gotta
bestie
talk-
gal because this took the cake for the
Thankfully-
whole night. I would
Thankfully,
say.
she does not listen to us.
I hope she does because I need clarity on it. Like I hope she knows who we're talking
I had
about.
nightmares about this, y'all.
Guys, okay.
Listen up, Rat
Listen
Pack.
up, rats. At our table, me and Allie were eyeballing like the one single guy at our table.
The one
Very
single Vin.
handsome.
Cutie.
Oh yeah, he was a Vin.
Cute Vin single. We shouldn't say his name.
Yeah, because I want our friend to know. I want to know the backstory.
Fuck it.
We're putting him on blast.
Fuck it.
There's
Okay.
5 of them. How are they
No,
gonna
no,
find
no,
him?
you're
never
right. There
know.
were 5 Vins. Okay. So, single guy, we're eyeballing him. Me and Allie go to the dance floor, and it's like a slow kind of song, and me and Allie are dancing with each other, obviously. And I'm like, Allie, let's go ask that guy, like, go pull him over to the dance floor.
Yeah, he was cute.
Because he was cute.
So cute.
Allie and I look back at our table, and there is like a 47-year-old Italian, we assumed auntie.
She looked like, an older aunt, like. But she was giving aunt energy, like, I want to pinch your cheeks, little
Yeah,
cutie
yeah,
food,
She
you know?
was like rubbing his shoulders like an
Yeah.
auntie.
Yeah.
And he was young. Like he was like under 30
28,
maybe.
I think, yeah.
I think he just had a baby face.
So, anywho, we look back. They are making out.
But this happened within, like, 20 seconds. Like, this whole conversation of, oh, he's so cute, we should pull
We
him.
should get him.
Oh, wait, let's wait till his aunt leaves. Holy shit,
They're
they're
making
making out.
and then we're like, okay, so maybe they're dating. She wasn't at our table, and they never spoke again throughout the entire
Yeah.
night.
She was with an
We
older
watched.
man. Did anybody see that?
She was with an older man.
She had a date.
She had a date. I'm still like, were they like? Did I hallucinate?
It was
that?
in public. But the worst part is Tara wasn't with us slow dancing because Nora and I were having a moment, obviously.
Yeah.
And we go back and for some reason, obviously, we couldn't talk about this out loud because he was sitting at the head of our table.
Right.
So we were all texting each other just sitting at this wedding,
were
like,
like,
holy
holy
shit!
fuck.
Did you just see that fucking cougar make out with Vinny? And
But they never spoke again. I was
Yeah,
watching
I
the
kept
rest of the
looking
night.
for
They
it.
didn't.
Yeah,
They weren't dating or
nothing.
anything. Like they were not together.
So for the listener, I held down the fort at the table because I was going through a panic attack.
Tara had a rough weekend.
I had a rough weekend. I cracked myself out. I was like, I'm not going to be that loser that wants to go to bed at 9 p.m. I'm going to fucking rage. I'm going to dance so hard. I was so excited to party with y'all. And so I had 3 espresso martinis. And y'all, I was unwell.
We know.
I was cracked out. Like, my heart was racing. I thought I was going to vomit. And so I just sat at the table like the fucking loser and just watched this. So I had hawk eyes on this single guy, just looking for the chick, because we obviously were gossiping about him, and I wanted more hot details. Never to be seen again. That woman, never saw her.
Honestly, is that my future?
To be fair, I never saw him again either.
Yeah, so that was a wedding.
And it was a beautiful wedding. But yeah, back to the meatball comment. Have y'all heard anyone call like an Italian?
Yeah,
that's
I call my mother that.
A meatball.
What?
She's a little spicy meatball.
Oh, spicy meat. No, you never heard that?
No.
She's too Texan. She hasn't been here long enough.
I have a few things to say about
Maybe you're
this
just not
also because
racist towards Italians.
you should be.
Congrats. You want a medal? What do you want?
I don't have a ton on this, but also I think it's just important to note that there was an attempted suicide by someone who was at a different wedding at this wedding.
I'm not sure that's that important to mention, but go
No,
on.
I just think it's crazy. Like, we're talking about a New York wedding.
Yeah, I
That's like
wonder
the
if
most New York shit to happen at
I
a
wonder
wedding.
if the bride knows that this happened.
Yeah, we
Let's
should
not
tell
ruin her
Should
day.
we tell her?
No, I'm
No, because
good.
nothing happened. Like, he's
Can
fine.
you imagine?
He didn't
like,
jump.
I hate to do this, but like, he kills himself. Let's play this out. He kills himself.
Oh my.
He ruins like 3 weddings in one night.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
really
true.
selfish.
It
I was
really
imagining
shouldn't
it
do that.
because I don't know if y'all saw this. A cop came.
Oh my god.
So I was
You're
like,
right.
So a cop comes in, and I'm obviously holding down the table, holding myself, rocking back and forth, trying to not be a coked out crazy person. But
No
here we are.
Coke was
There, I was
consumed.
going to say, just
Sorry,
coffee.
just
It
listener.
was
Coffee.
just coffee, sadly. Yeah, a cop walks in and I'm like, it's going down. Like, the guy's jumping, the cop's here to negotiate and try to get him to come down. Cop comes in and like someone like tries to hand him a shot, and I'm like, this is really confusing.
Like, he's saving lives.
He
over
takes
here.
it. I'm just kidding.
He takes it, he pulls out his gun
Yeah, I was
and
just gonna go
shoots
there.
the jumper.
Wow, that would have been crazy.
To clarify for the listener, there was a different wedding going on at the exact same time, and a man and his girlfriend broke up at said wedding, which questions.
we have no
Trashy.
context. We'll never get
We'll
context.
never get
We'll just have
context.
to fill in the gaps here, guys.
And then he went and tried to jump. Very sad. He didn't. He's fine.
Well,
I mean, I guess we
he
don't
was
know.
he was fine. We
That
we
night
wish
he
him
was
well.
that
fine.
day he was fine. I do wish him well. I wish him to get some
Therapy.
Questions though. Breaking up at weddings. Weird.
Weird,
move.
but I've been close to it, so I understand.
I think you should wait till after the wedding.
No, 100%, but sometimes you just snap, you know, and like it's fine. Okay, so anyway, I was gonna also make a point. So I've been to a couple of really Italian weddings.
in New York.
Yeah, well, adjacent, because if we're not saying Long Island's like New York City, neither is one
it's
down the
not.
shore. So like, to me,
Yeah.
the equidistance is the ones that are in Jersey that I've been
Okay.
to that are
Yeah.
super Italian.
So culturally,
Culturally,
New York.
New York.
Culturally New York. But it's
Okay.
so funny to see a Long Island Italian wedding versus like a New Jersey Italian wedding. Because it's like,
It's so sorry.
So
I can't help my
different.
judgment.
What's
it just
the difference,
sounds so
Allie?
trashy to me.
it is.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking New Jersey trashy.
I'm
New
like
Jersey is
imagining
like-
spray tans.
So you know the shore. Well, you guys don't watch the Jersey Shore, so it's hard to explain. But for the
I
listener,
watched the Jersey Shore.
so you know like
20
DJs.
years ago.
Yeah,
Do
why
you-
did you say do we watch the Jersey Shore? It's like 20 years old. I watched it in
It
college.
doesn't
yes.
seem like something you guys would watch living in Texas.
My
Why is that
first-
like a big
My
jump
first
to me?
frat party I
Everyone
ever went
watched
to was
it.
Jersey Shore themed.
Well, I'm trying to say there was a bar in Jersey Shore called DJs where everybody goes.
I've been there.
And they got the DJ from DJs
Shut-
to DJ the wedding. Yeah.
Oh,
So it's just like everyone was like, cut the mozzarella, cut the fucking mozzarella. And it was like, they were like
What?
shooting t-shirts out of t-shirt guns and
No.
shit.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of like the idea for my wedding.
Yeah.
T-shirt
It
gun
was
is
honestly
funny.
so much fun, but it was like literally being down the shore versus this Long Island wedding was like, when the moon hits your eye like a big
big
pizza
pizza.
pie.
Was it that just me, or did they play that 4
I
times?
thought it was my panic attack. It was on like 10 times. It was just on loop in my head.
It was on loop.
It was on loop the whole wedding. What other New York weddings have we been to?
I've never been to
any.
I've been to one in
except
Midtown.
That's
in Midtown?
crazy.
That was also an Italian wedding,
must
but that
be
one was like
expensive.
classy Italian
Yeah.
because
Classy,
it was Midtown,
gay.
classy, gay. They had it was just
That's
beautiful.
a very New York wedding.
yeah,
That's what
marble
I think
floors.
I'm
like
gonna go out on a limb and say that 50% of Manhattan weddings are gay weddings because they're
Yeah.
the only ones who can afford it.
Yeah, I agree. And they've got great taste. So yeah, I'm just imagining like a black tie affair.
it was black tie.
What'd you wear?
I wore a tux because I was in the wedding.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
Do you have pictures that we can post for the
I
Rat
don't.
Pack?
It doesn't quite look tuxy enough, and I'm about 20 pounds heavier, so
So we won't.
So we
happy to
should post it.
Yeah.
Happy to post.
And then the other gay wedding I went to was in New York, upstate. That one was like farm.
Well, because
chic.
that was a lesbian wedding,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah. It was like
Good guess.
farm chic. So I've been to like a handful. Yeah. What about your Brooklyn wedding? What happened there? You never really told us about it because you did like a
yeah, I don't even
staycation and
remember
you
that.
focused more on old balls and you rather than the wedding.
Old Balls and I went to a wedding in Brooklyn. He was just blown away by the wedding, and I realize why now. He bought his ex-wife a ring from an antique market and it was a butterfly ring. Yeah, one of my one of my first friends that I met in the city got married. Her now husband is a finance bro, and I'm getting the sense that both his and her families are quite wealthy. Quite. So it was in this gorgeous warehouse, kind of old, I don't even know what, in Brooklyn, and it faced the Statue of Liberty. And you know how the Long Island wedding we went to had kind of like a happy hour hors d'oeuvres, an affair of what is it called, around the world food.
Yeah.
So you could try all different types of food. This was insane. It was in this massive venue, and they had archways, and in each archway there was fancy food from around the world, like a sashimi nigiri chef, sushi chef there. There's paella there. It was crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
It
Here's
was
my
so
thoughts on
good.
this because my Jersey Italian wedding also had something like this. My other Jersey Shore wedding had a really insane cocktail hour. Don't serve me dinner. Just let me do a sit down
That's true.
cocktail
Agreed.
hour where
I
I
don't
can
really need-
sit down and eat the food because I never know if I want to get really hungry and full on cocktail hors d'oeuvres,
Yeah.
which I love,
Yeah.
and then why am I paying for $50 a steak per person when they're not going to eat it because they've been
Wait, are
filling
you
up
the
on
bride in this
the hors
scenario?
d'oeuvres. Yeah, I'm thinking it's a little nuts to
No,
think
I
about, but
actually
as a
agree.
consumer, I like it.
I think
I'm
at
with
my
you.
wedding, I don't want people to be too full. I actually think it's better if you just have a lot of hors d'oeuvres that you can sit with, because then
Correct.
nobody gets too full. You all still want to party.
And then no dinner.
No dinner.
No dinner, but then have what they had at the Long Island wedding,
Yeah.
which was snacks at the end to go home with because
Oh, yeah, what a key
that was
move.
so perfect.
They had McDonald's at the end.
Yeah,
We
I saw them
posted
setting that up when I was
videos.
leaving.
so good.
Okay, so I'm kind of with y'all. Yeah, I didn't order a plate at dinner at the Long Island wedding because I was so full, because I went ham on those hors d'oeuvres at, what is it called? Happy hour?
Cocktail hour.
Cocktail
It's
hour.
not called a happy hour at a wedding, no. Okay, I was at a wedding, and I can't remember where it was to save my life, but it was definitely New York people. It was in the tri-state area, and it was at a beautiful cathedral, so nice, priest marrying the couple.
Oh.
But it
Old
was a
school.
full-ass Catholic wedding, Italian Catholic wedding, communion, the whole 9 yards.
Oh, God, that sounds awful.
Who do you know
But
that?
here's the kicker.
They were gay.
The whole wedding, they're the priest is talking about purity. He's a woman's purity is so key. It's the most important thing about a woman is to stay pure for her husband. She was pregnant with twins.
What a horror.
I was like, are we
Which-
all ignoring the fact that this girl is literally knocked up at her wedding? I'm so confused.
But like, I mean, I feel like that's pure as long as it's not like her brother's babies or something.
Or the priest.
I mean,
Ooh.
look,
That's where my head was
That's
going.
juicy.
Juicy.
No, it was her husband's babies, but still, I'm just like, how did they even
How
let
do
you
we
get
know?
married here?
How do we know that?
I guess I can't be sure.
Was she showing?
Yes, she was full ass pregnant.
That's fucking
That
hilarious.
just happened to me at a wedding in Philly where the
So
girl was like
hypocritical.
9 months pregnant. Like, I was like, are you going to birth this baby on a stage? I also wouldn't want to be pregnant at my wedding because I want to get fucked up.
Same.
Yeah.
I do not want to be pregnant
You
at
know,
my
it's
wedding.
like a new trend, dude. I've been to so many weddings recently where the bride is pregnant. I do wonder if it's because
Kinda
we're
makes sense.
marrying older.
Yeah.
So, like, if they have a whoopsie doopsie, they're just going
I
to be
mean,
like,
that
well,
girl
we're
was like
keeping
25.
this one. Right.
In Texas?
No,
No,
this was a
Philly.
New York bitch.
So before I pull up some of the venues, I have a horror story. I looked up some horror stories in New York for weddings, and this one is heinous. They were trying to do the wedding on the cheap, really, really strict budget, and the maid of honor's one and only job was to make sure the photographer stayed 100 to 200 feet away because he was a registered sex offender. Child molester, I should
The
say.
photographer?
The photographer. Because it was the bride's uncle and he offered to do it for free.
Oh my god.
So he had to use one of those massive lenses, you know?
Oh my god. I mean, it's a real Sophie's choice.
Like,
Free
Or
or keep the children at the wedding safe.
Yeah, yeah. So basically the maid
I
of
would do
honor.
it for free.
You would hire the...
I would do it too.
Really?
I would just be like, don't bring children. I don't want
No
children at my
children at
wedding.
the wedding
Yeah, no,
anyway.
they had a ring bearer and flower girl. Well, yeah, that was my one horror story. But just jumping into some of the venues, I know our ratty lives are just not going to accept any of this. So
That old school food emporium
buckle up.
is going to be on there. I know it
Oh,
for
really?
sure. Under the Queensboro Bridge next
What
to that
about
TJ
Food
Maxx on
Emporium?
58th and
What
So-
could that have to do with weddings?
It's a venue.
That's a venue?
Yeah, they turned it in from a food emporium. That's where my friend got married.
Oh my god.
It's beautiful.
The food emporium.
I don't think it's called that anymore.
No, but I don't know the name. That's why I was just describing it. Those are the only
like,
things
yeah,
I
I
can
haven't
describe
seen
it.
anything
you
that
know,
starts
you've been in
with-
New York too long when you're like, oh, it's at the old food emporium. It's like
Under the Queensboro Bridge.
So the first venue that comes up is Andaz, Fifth Avenue. Have you heard of it?
no,
ANDAZ.
sounds expensive.
I have heard of it.
Yeah. Do you want to guess how much it starts at for the venue itself?
Just to rent it, $80K.
for how many guests?
200.
Okay, so it says starting at $23,934 for 50 guests.
50.
Yeah.
If you're getting
So,
married in
rat
Manhattan,
math.
you better have a big.
Rat math.
I'm not that far off.
Yeah, no, I think you're close.
That's actually a lot cheaper than I thought it'd be for a
I
Manhattan
think this is where my
wedding.
friend got married. No,
But that's
no,
not
it's
including food, flowers. Like, that's crazy.
Also, some of these are so like they're probably beautiful venues, but they posted the worst pictures possible. We should screenshot it. There's one called it's at Barclay.
Also, you probably,
No.
like, we didn't get transportation for my New York City wedding. Like, we had to hail
Well, that
down
makes
cabs.
sense.
Well, what are they going to do? Have a shuttle through the city?
Yeah,
Like, it would have been easier because we were all, like, trying to find cabs.
Yeah, that's hard.
I don't want to get married somewhere that's called the Intercontinental New York Barclay,
Oh.
and the pictures are heinous.
The Intercontinental is supposed to be nice.
I'm sure it is. It's $30K for 50 guests.
I don't know how much weddings are supposed to cost, so I'm like not.
And it depends. If you get married at the court, it's free.
That's not true. It's cheaper though.
It's like $40.
I
$40
think it's- Okay, let's not
for
throw
a
out
court
numbers.
wedding. Oh, thank you. I'll get a captain of a ship to do it. They can do it.
This one, Webster Hall.
Wait,
Yeah.
Webster
You can get
Hall?
married in
You can get
Webster
Webster
You
Hall.
should not get
That's
married in Webster
heinous.
Hall.
That shit smells
I've
like a beer
thrown up
can.
in that bathroom, guys. Do not get married there.
For $40K, you can get married at a place Nora vomited.
Expensive. I'm going to vomit more places.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm really confused. Oh, you can get married at Music Hall in Williamsburg. These are so cute. Hotel Central Times Square. If anyone gets married in Times Square, their wedding, their marriage is a sham.
That's a sham.
It's a sham. Also, here's the thing. I really want to, you know what? I just really want to get into more so like prenup talk. Okay, so you're getting married in one of the most expensive places in in the U.S., maybe
New York
the world.
City.
Yeah, New York City. Venues, from what I'm seeing so far, are between $20K and $30K for 50 guests.
So far, she looked at 5 places.
Yeah. So anyways, my thought when I started thinking about New York City weddings, they're so expensive. I'm assuming both bride and groom, or groom, bride, whatever.
Or they.
They're both wealthy independently, whether it's, family, money, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining, like, not courtroom, but like sitting down with your lawyer for weeks to get this stuff.
To negotiate.
Yeah, negotiating before your wedding.
Probably.
Like, by the time you're getting married in one of the most beautiful places, like New York City, Webster Hall, where Nora has just projectile vomited on the aisle.
Is
it even fun? Is
There's
it
no
even
aisle.
romantic?
It's an open ballroom. It's a music venue.
I'm sure
like,
they
it's
create
disgusting.
an aisle.
There was no aisle where I vomited.
Where did you vomit? Did you clog the sink again?
No, it was a bathroom bomb.
Did you toilet or sink?
In college, I was...
Answer the question. Don't dodge it.
Toilet. In college, I had, like, such a fear of projectile vomiting in a bar, like, on the dance floor.
You had a phase where you would throw up after eating.
Yeah, I was so
It
weird
wasn't
in
bulimia,
college.
listener.
No, she overfed herself. She'd order like $6,000 worth of anything on the menu.
It's because in college, it was the first time I was like, I can order as much food as I want.
What?
So I would eat too much, and then the last bite, I would always have to throw up because I would just go one bite too far.
You and I grew up in the same household. Not once did I ever felt restricted.
Yeah, were you guys like starved?
Oh,
or something?
Oh, really? Mom said you could only have. I thought you could only have 3 scoops of ice cream in a bowl until I was like 22 years old.
I still think that's an appropriate amount of ice
and
cream.
then I grew up and I was like, you can actually just eat the whole container. Nobody can stop you.
I think 3 scoops is an appropriate amount of ice cream.
Tara, one time I ate a pint of ice cream in front of her, and she just looks at me and goes, I'm not trying to be mean, but I've never done that.
You've never done that? They're meant for a single serving.
I don't think the back of the ice cream says that.
Yeah, if you don't look at it, it does.
Ice cream like nobody's business. Like, it's easy.
I love to cream. I love ice cream.
Not like me.
But I have restraint.
Every time we go on vacation, I have like 3 ice creams a day minimum.
I took that so seriously in Atlanta.
In Atlanta,
so much
we
ice
ate
cream.
so much ice cream. We were just
We went through like
pounding.
3 handles of ice cream.
Handles. Jesus Christ.
Well, because they were those big boxes. It wasn't just like the Ben and Jerry's kind. They were like fucking handles.
The Costco handles
All
of
right,
ice
I'm
cream.
going to go crazy on our episode. Let's go crazy, girl. Fuck this talking about these New York City weddings. Let's talk about our weddings, rats. What kind of wedding are we having?
Can you imagine someone marrying either Allie or I?
Not really.
That's tough. That's tough feedback.
There
But
you
you
go.
would have such a bomb
I want to
wedding.
have a party. I don't want to have a ceremony. Like I want to
Yeah.
get married at the court, or like with a small amount of people.
Do you want
present.
Nora present?
Obviously.
I've never even thought about it. I kind of just want to get the paper, and then we go to a party, rent out like a space.
Yeah.
Whoever comes, and I wear a pantsuit. I want to wear a white jumpsuit.
Like you're like a divorcee
jumpsuit.
on your second marriage.
Exactly, but it'll be my first.
I love it. Tara?
I want a secret wedding where I elope, no one knows, and I die happily.
We're all
with
gonna
my
know that
husband.
because you've talked about it.
Yeah, you were definitely going to know.
Nora and I both have this idea of like a surprise wedding.
That's what I was about to say. My dream is that somehow I get everyone in my life to show up to the same place for some excuse.
You know what I think we should do? We should tell people it's a baby shower.
Somehow. No, because that's a letdown, Tara.
Are you kidding?
And
My
I'm like,
wedding's
I'm
way-
not pregnant.
Nora's gonna pretend to get her tubes tied.
Oh, we'll have a two.
One way or another, I'm
Then
going
it's
to
a
get
wedding.
everyone in my life to one venue without telling them it's a wedding, and then I'm going to be like, surprise, it's my fucking wedding, bitches.
Yeah,
And I'm
I
gonna walk
would
out in a wedding
fucking love
dress.
that.
Yeah, then you won't get a gift.
I don't need a fucking gift. What do I need, a toaster? I'm 32 years old.
We don't have one, so yeah, that'd be
That's
good.
true. We don't have a toaster. We use the oven every time.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh my god.
It's very wasteful.
Is it wasteful?
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, so I recently went to a New York City wedding where, the couple did a really small ceremony, like you mentioned, Allie, and then they threw a massive party at a really pretty rooftop hotel. I can't remember. It was kind of like Times Square adjacent. But yeah, it was just an open bar. You dress up and you go and drank. I don't even. There may have been hors d'oeuvres. Actually, I don't think there was. It was just literally.
I'm gonna have drugs at my wedding.
What'd you say?
I'm gonna have drugs at my wedding.
I think that's mandatory. Yeah, I do like the idea instead of hors d'oeuvres, just passing around lines of cocaine.
Yeah.
And Molly.
I want to eat. I'm going to have baby hot dogs at my wedding. For sure.
There will
Baby hot dogs?
We've been over this. They're called pigs.
You gotta just fucking understand. I don't know why.
Wait.
They're little hot dogs, Tara.
Pigs in a blanket.
Like Vienna sausages?
I can't do this again.
Pigs in a blanket.
I can't do this again.
Do you want pigs in a blanket or do you want mini hot dogs?
They're the same. They're the same.
Mini hot dogs does not imply that they're wrapped in a delicious crescent roll.
Yes, it does.
Is it?
You've ever seen a raw baby hot dog?
Yeah.
No one's just eating fucking micro dicks.
It's a raw.
Let me not just like dip this baby hot dog raw in a fucking ketchup.
Listen.
Nasty. Absolutely disgusting.
I mean, that's what a Vienna sausage is.
I'm gonna have cheesecake at my wedding.
Cheesecake. Oh, that's where I wanted to go with this. Okay, food and dessert. What are we doing?
I get why the feedback was that we don't listen to each other.
Because we're mad. Okay. Anyways, go on. You
That's
want
all
cake,
I had.
cheesecake. I want ice cream.
Ooh.
So cocaine and ice cream for Tara.
Cocaine and ice cream.
Cocaine and ice cream is the theme of the wedding.
I'm not getting married in the city. That's for sure.
No,
it's too
fuck
expensive.
no,
I'm
fuck
not paying
no.
that kind of money.
I'm going to Mexico. Are you kidding? You can get such a sick wedding for like $30K. So wrapping up with weddings.
The rats have no idea what they're talking about.
We don't know what we're talking about.
We're never getting married.
Wow!
Toodles.
As always, thanks for listening. If you're interested in even more bad advice, scurry on over to Instagram and TikTok at Bad Advice Only NYC. We're begging you. Download and rate the show and leave us a review. Talk to you next Monday.
Stay tuned, rats.